Shedeur Sanders could wind up saving the Cleveland Browns franchise. Time and time again, the Cleveland Browns have struggled to get the quarterback situation figured out, and constantly Cleveland is cleaning out the house and trying to solve their everlasting quarterback problem. Now they may have finally figured it out by selecting quarterback Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft. Sanders, who was once deemed a top prospect in the draft, managed to slip all the way into the 5th round, which left fans around the league in an uproar. Everyone was confused why such a talent would continue to fall round after round. Needless to say, Sanders didn't prepare himself for what was coming, and he got a rude awakening to the NFL. This slip in the draft woke Sanders up and made him realize he must earn his spot in the NFL. No matter what happened, the past is the past, and it's something he can reflect on to better himself in the future. You will see a more determined Shedeur Sanders that wants to win football games and will also hold himself accountable for his team. Sanders can change his attitude and ultimately become a better teammate and player over time. Yes, there will be rough bumps along the way, but taking the risk on a guy who can wind up winning you a Super Bowl in a 5-year window is well worth it. Sanders will ultimately lead this Browns team to success in 2025. One of my bold predictions is I believe Sanders will ultimately win the starting quarterback job throughout the training camp and the preseason. Shedeur will prove to the coaches over the course of this time that he is their guy for the future, and he can lead this roster to greater heights. I do believe that this draft will show a changed Shedeur Sanders and a less cocky and arrogant kid. This was a humbling moment in his career, and it will ultimately unlock his full potential in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns absolutely hit on this draft pick, and this will become one of the greatest what-if draft picks later down the line for many NFL teams that passed up on him. Sanders has shown in college he is able to show up in crucial moments and be a clutch player for his team. He's very calm under pressure and doesn't let it affect him or his momentum during games. Sanders' accuracy is decent coming out of college, but he can continue to polish it over the course of the season. When Jalen Hurts started for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021, his completion percentage was 61.3 as a full-time starter. His accuracy was very choppy at times, and he was just an inconsistent passer. Then he leaped from a 61.3% to a 66.5% in one single season as a full-time starter, and he could consistently hit his wide open receivers. If you guys like what you're watching, please make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I make sure to upload consistently and try to upload all football content. If you guys have suggestions for what you want to see, please leave them down below and I'll try and make a video about them. Thank you for all the support. Let's get back to the video. Sanders has the potential to develop into a franchise quarterback if he's willing to put the work in. Cleveland is surrounding him with talent, which only gives him more and more of a reason to thrive for this team and finally turn things around for this franchise. Pairing Sanders with Jerry Jeudy, Deontay Johnson, and David Njoku will be a scary threat to opposing defenses. If Cleveland can create an offensive scheme to use Sanders to his best of his ability, this offense can be very deadly. Jerry Jeudy finally had his breakout season in 2024, making the Pro Bowl, eclipsing 90 receptions for 1,229 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. With his presence on the field, Sanders will know who his number one receiver is immediately. Deontay Johnson will obviously have to work for his role on this football team, but he has a real shot to make an immediate impact on this roster if he can control his attitude within the locker room. Johnson has had some issues staying on football teams these last couple of seasons, and because of that, he hasn't been able to play any games. In 2024, he played for 3 different teams, played in only 8 games the entire season, and recorded 33 receptions for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. The potential is there for Johnson. He just has to have a different mentality for this season if he wants to see success on the football field. David Njoku has been a top tight end for the last couple seasons in my opinion. The quarterback playing Cleveland hasn't been there the last couple of seasons, but David Njoku has been a highlight reel type of tight end when he gets the football in his hands. With Sanders potentially being the starting quarterback heading into the 2025 season if everything goes well, Njoku could see a ton of success this season. Sanders loves to target his big body receivers over the middle of the field, especially as tight ends. Njoku could be in for a big season season come 2025. Another potential weapon for Sanders will be Cedric Tillman. The Browns are hoping this kid can take the next step and be the Browns' third wideout. I think he'll break out this season and post good numbers as their third wide receiver option. The Browns also have third-year running back Jerome Ford, who had post great numbers as a backup running back over the course of his career. In 3 seasons with the Browns, he has 316 carries, 1,390 rushing yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns. With Nick Chubb gone, his name will be called upon as the main running back for Cleveland. He will have to step up for this team in the rush game so they can find the success they need to. Cleveland has always been a great running football team, and I believe there's no doubt they won't be able to find success with Ford as a running back. The Browns also selected Quinshawn Judkins out of Ohio State with a 36th pick in the draft. If the Browns split the reps between Judkins and Ford, this rushing attack just as good as when Chubb was in the backfield. There's a lot of hope for Judkins for the future of this team, and he will wind up being their number 1 options in a couple of seasons when Ford's contract finally expires. The Browns went heavy in this draft in hopes they could make a complete 180 and turn this football team around quickly. Drafting Mason Graham with the 5th overall pick was a complete steal. Pairing him up with Myles Garrett will be a nightmare for opposing offensive lines. Building your team through the trenches is ultimately where you find the most success. For the Browns, drafting a defensive tackle was ultimately the best choice. Graham will make an immediate impact on this defense, and he will compete for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. They also picked up a linebacker in the 2nd round out of UCLA, and he will wind up being a stud for this team during the season. My bold prediction is that Shedeur Sanders will be named the starting quarterback week 1 of the 2025 NFL season, and after that, it will be history. Cleveland Browns will finish the 2025 NFL season at 11-6 record. Sanders will have thrown for 4,202 yards passing, a 62.5 completion percentage, 24 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions. Sanders will also add 500 rushing yards and also add 6 rushing touchdowns. And Sanders will ultimately guide this Browns team to their first playoff win in a long time and will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, the Browns will lose to the Chiefs in the divisional round of the playoffs, but it creates excitement for the Cleveland Brown fans for what the future actually holds for this team. And now we will find out once and for all when the season finally gets underway. The fans have a lot to look forward to, and if I was a Brown fan, I would be excited for this season to start. Ultimately, Shedeur Sanders has everything he wants basically at his fingertips. This Cleveland Browns team is built to win for the future, and even if it's not this season, they have the draft capital and the money to make huge moves to become a winning football team. It's up to Shedeur Sanders if he wants to put in the effort and make that next step in his career to become an elite quarterback. Like I said, this quarterback has all the traits to become successful. He just has to want it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Peace out.